YouTube, we are back. Player Prop Savant here with my boy Monotone at a different day, different time. How we doing? I don't think I've ever seen you in the middle of the week.
Yeah, I mean, we had to mix things up. We had all that momentum going with the NFL. We're both, love the NBA grind. So I'm happy to keep it going right here. Meet up on a nice Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah, no, I know we won't go into any of the NFL stuff, but obviously that's been going pretty well. Hitting at a 66% clip on those 20 plus units. So yeah, why not bring it over to NBA? We both love to talk NBA when we drop the screen after we're done with NFL. We always talk NBA. So I said, might as well provide some more content for you guys here today. But yeah, it's a huge slate. I think Wednesdays is a great day to do these because there's some good games, and it's always 9 to 10 games on our Wednesday slates.
Oh yeah, yep. We got 10 full games today and a lot of close spreads too, right? I didn't play anything yesterday. We saw a lot of weird 10-point spreads, but we got a lot of close games today. So love that.
We got Trevor in the house again, repping Hoodie Gang. I don't have mine up yet. I got my Brewer shirt on, so I don't want everybody to see that. See, I'm still depressed about that. So we'll see it. We got 69 live viewers in here. Obviously, perfect number for us to get started, I guess. So again, drop a like on the video, guys. We've been I'm super excited to do NBA content twice a week with Monotone, one NFL, one NBA. So yeah, we might as well get to it. I think these are going to go a little bit quicker. We're only going to drop 2 plays per. Still do our DFS and our long shots like always, and I'm very excited. I think both of our long shots actually are damn good value. I looked at those and I'm like, oh man, I might plug these in before the live chat kills the odds for me.
Yep. Same thing. I mean, it's weird. I feel like a lot of the stuff we're looking at by the end of the season is down to plus 100, plus 200, but because it's early on, they're kind of letting it fly a little bit.
Yeah, you're starting to see guys start upping their minutes too. Like you start seeing guys with the 31 minutes. Next game is 33. Now they're at 35, which is really nice to see. And this is that middle spot where the books don't know where to throw the prop lines at. So this is the fun stuff here. Let's check out who we got. We got Kyle in here. Let's get it. Nice with I'm guessing he said nice to the Hoodie Gang. That's what I think he was talking about. We got Ryan in the house here, and then we got a play already. You got somebody dropping a play here. Heat money line.
I like it, man. I see where you're coming from. I like the Heat tonight. They're good. They're good this year.
They're nice. Plus 152 is crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But let's get it started. We're going to roll with a Bucks play that's not mine. This is weird. I usually always bet my Bucks, but we got Monotone dropping his first play here.
Yeah, so I'm realizing now I sent you the wrong number. My bad. It's 29.5. I'm having a bit of a sick day today. Guys got to cut me a break. But yeah, so it's at 30.5 now in a couple spots. I still see a little bit of 29.5. But both of them are perfectly fine. I mean, what we've seen, right, is Giannis sees a pretty huge usage jump without Drew Holiday dating back to the beginning of last year, where he's been averaging over a 30% usage rate on the Bucks without Drew Holiday. Now we get a great matchup against Karl Anthony Towns and the Timberwolves, where he put up 37 points against them last year in that kind of small sample size. But obviously, Giannis is kind of one of those players that there's no one that can guard him, right? Already, there's no one that can guard him. But even looking closer at this Timberwolves team, they do have some pretty solid defensive pieces, but none of these guys are big enough to take care of Giannis, especially with the wing defenders they have, right? These guys aren't big enough. So what we're going to see is probably a mix of Karl Anthony Towns and the other big men that they have that are going to do their best to slow him down. I don't buy that, they're going to try their best. They're going to hustle, but those are also going to be their key offensive producers on the other side. So I think Giannis is going to have a good day tonight. I think we're going to see 35 plus. I think 40 plus is kind of tempting. Some of these sports books give it to you. It just feels like a perfect explosion game. He only played 23 minutes a couple games ago. His averages are a little down because of that. A tough Spurs defense and then a blowout against OKC. I think this is a perfect kind of get right spot for Giannis right here.
Yeah, I love this spot. Obviously, I'm a Bucks fan, so a little bit biased here, but when we go through this whole sheet, once we get to the end, guys, you're going to see that this is a game that we are targeting DFS, props, everything. because this game is going to be fast paced. We got two. I won't go into all my numbers because that's what I'm going to do for one of my later picks. But you're going to have a team here without Drew Holiday. We're going to have a hard time stopping these guys too. It's a 5. What is the spread? I think like 6, right?
Yeah,
Like
it's in
6
that
or 7.
area. Yeah.
No Drew, possibly a hobbled Portis. No Brook Lopez. I mean, oof. We're hurting right now, and I really have a hard time seeing this get to a huge blowout. So that's even better because that's really the only thing with the Bucks and Giannis is, are we getting a blowout? Are we getting blown out? Obviously, we got blown out by who was it? The Heat, maybe, I think it was something like that.
Yeah.
I think we got blown out by the Heat, and we just saw Giannis not play the entire fourth quarter. This game screams up and down. This screams close matchup, and we got superstars on both sides of the ball that I think usually gets the best out of one another. That's what I usually like in baseball when it's two aces on the hill going up against each other. It's the same type of thing. We had two of the top probably 5 to 10 big guys in the NBA if you consider Giannis a point center or whatever. He's going to be running center for some of our minutes tonight, so it's going to be fun.
Yep, I'm glad you're on board. I needed the Bucks fans' stamp of approval right here, but I think this is a good one.
Yeah, so are you a Wizards fan then?
Yeah, I am a Wizards fan. I guess I can admit it a little easier now. I think things are going okay this year, but they're a hard team to prop bet on. Last year, they were the best, right? I watched every Wizards game, so I was all over these Russ, plays, all these guys, but we're a lot slower this year. We're doing the team defense, the ball movement, so a little less fun for props, but better for real life basketball.
Love it. I'm going to actually move away from this game before we come right back in a little bit. So I'm going to pop over to one of my favorite guys in Jonas Valanciunas. 12.5 rebounds here is going to be the play for me. If you guys saw me post 3 days ago or 2 days ago, I had Brandon Ingram double-double at plus 800. And Jonas Valanciunas decided to catch 25 boards in that game against Minnesota. So I might as well jump on board, right? If we can't beat him, might as well join him. So we're going on to Jonas Valanciunas over 12.5 boards here. Through 4 games, this man has 60 rebounds, 15 per game. He's averaging 35 minutes per game, and he's kind of that old school type of center, right? We're not going to see him out in the three-point line too much, and we have a matchup with someone who will actually do that with him. We're going to have him rolling against Clint Capella tonight in the Hawks. And I absolutely love it because the games that we missed with Valanciunas here, he was going up against Vucevic, who really doesn't play down low. And Towns decided he wanted to play down low against him in the 2 games they played, and it was a low-scoring game. So obviously the rebounds are a lot more opportunistic when they're bricks everywhere, right? So we had the blowouts, right? They got blown out in their first 2. He only had 29 minutes in that first game and still grabbed 12 boards against Philadelphia. He played Vucevic, played 32 minutes, had 8 boards, who had 18 and 8 against Vucevic. But then we had 2 close games, right, with the Wolves. 96 to 89 was their last game for the score there, which is absolutely nuts. He had 20 and 17 against them. And then the next game went up against the same team. 22 and 23 was his final number there. So I love this spot. I think he clears this pretty easy with a 219 total. And we're rolling out Capella against him. I think that's even better. I think we're going to have a nice slower pace here as well. It's usually weird to talk about the Pelicans with a slow team, but we're kind of slowing it down with them. Obviously, without Zion and those fast breaks, just an extra 7 or 8 rebounds that he grabbed last year are now open. So Brandon Ingram's been taking most of the offensive shots and everything. I think he's over 23 shots every single game. But Jonas Valanciunas is one of those big guys that's really, really good on the offensive glass. He's 4.5 offensive rebounds per game, which is absolutely crazy. And I love this game for missed shots, good defense, and a nice battle down low between Joe Val and Clint Capella. I think that's a great spot to grab rebounds. I think both of those guys are going to be beasts tonight on the glass.
Yeah, I love this one. I love Jonas. I've hit him once already this year. He's a great rebounds guy, super consistent. And I think something you mentioned right there that not enough people think about is who the rebounder is going against, right? It's easy to look at these numbers and see the averages, but when you want to dig a little bit deeper, Clint Capella does not go out to the three-point line. He does not have a very creative play style at center. He is a guy that sits under center and grabs those rebounds. It's going to be hard to move him out the way. But what that does is Jonas now is also the whole time going to be right there next to him in the paint, because that's going to be his primary defensive assignment, So these guys are going to both, I agree with you, feast in the paint. I got really close to playing Capella rebounds. He's still on a bit of a minutes limit. So we could also see Jonas matched up against John Collins in the paint, which is another pretty favorable matchup. He obviously has the size advantage when the Hawks are going to play small. But yeah, this guy's just a rebounding machine. I don't think he was definitely top 5 in the league last year. I bet he'll probably end up there again this year.
Yeah, and you were talking about the minutes limit. I believe their backup center is Gorgie Jang, right? I believe he's down there with the Hawks. So I will take that matchup. If I even get 4 or 5 minutes with Jonas out there, he is grabbing a few boards off of Gorgie, because that man, he is a twig compared to Jonas down there. I saw the video of Beverly bodying up Jovel. I'm like, oh my God. You don't really think about it, because Pat Bev's 6'1", so like a normal size person. This Jovel he's like up to like his belly button, dude. Jovel is an absolute monster, and I really love playing his props. Unfortunately, he screwed me out of the plus 800 last game, so we might as well just pop on him now. So
yeah, and in that video, Beverly looks like a little kid wrestling his dad. The size difference is insane.
All right, we got a few comments in here. We'll pop over to the comments quick, just because we're going to have a little bit more time than we do for football, because we're running 6 plays, extra DFS and stuff like that. So DMM Punk, he's always in here on my things. I always have my tank tops on. We're not in the tank tops today. Shane, let's win this money. Let's keep rolling. Love it. Thank you guys for tuning in with us. We're at 95 live viewers. You guys are all in here. I'm happy to be in here with you guys, dropping some content. We got a Wolves fan in here saying that Giannis play is going to cash easy. So you got the Bucks fan telling you, and the Wolves fan. So we got the whole spectrum here. Beasley is his play here.
Exclamation marks. Let's go.
Bucks, meh. Brewers are okay, but Packers. Jonas, such a beast. Yeah, he was. He was giving Cat that work, dude. It was crazy. Harden, 19.5 points. What is it? What do you have a thought on that one before we move on to your next play?
Man, Harden, it's so tough, right? He's a career 8 foul attempt player a game. He's at 3 so far this year. It just seems like he's not adjusting to these new rules very well, and along with that, there's a shooting slump. I think he'll get out of it eventually, but I'm not chasing after James Harden right now. It's kind of meh to me.
All right. So we have a guy just came in. I will now put down the stuff on the bottom. I just usually don't do it with one, just because it looks weird when you only have one going on the bottom.
It's okay.
But yes, let's move on. Like I said, guys, we'll always get back to your questions. We try to get to every single one before the end. So if you guys have any, just drop them in there. We'll get to them. Promise. And yeah, we'll get to your second one today.
Yeah, so the man that Jonas Valanciunas was traded for, Steven Adams, the new and upcoming center up in Memphis now with the Grizzlies. So this is a number that Steven Adams has hit really easily this year. Just looking through everything, he's hit this in 3 of 3 games so far this season, but it's not kind of that production from one specific category that you worry about. He's really producing across all 3 categories, right? He's hit his assists number in 2 of 3 games this season, his rebound number in 2 of 3 games this season, and his points total actually in 2 of 3 games this season. But when you combine it together, if you just played his points, rebounds, and assists together, you would have hit it every single game. And now we get a matchup right here that I'm not very worried about at all. Adams, his role has actually increased from last year, right? When he was playing next to Zion, that's a bit of a weird fit. But now with the Grizzlies, he's getting a lot more pick and roll opportunities. They have a good point guard over there with John Morant finding him in the paint. And additionally, Dylan Brooks is out. That's someone whose usage rate was pretty high last year. But due to the fact that he is injured, that is being spread around a lot to Bane, to Jaw specifically, but also Steven Adams. Like I said, he's 3 for 3 this season. I see him hitting his rebounds, assists, and points all separately. So I love combining it here. He's one of my favorite players of the day.
Yeah, I love Steven Adams. I love the way he plays. One thing I didn't really notice was how much Dylan Brooks was affecting everybody else's numbers.
Yeah.
John Morant is like the second highest fantasy scorer this year.
Yep.
50 plus, I think, in every single game, or one of them was 50, 49 or something. But this dude is going off. Obviously, still getting his assists. And Steven Adams, as we've seen when he's had Russ, when he's had these point guards who can pass, he gets those dump downs and he gets those nice little dunks, and always down there to get those rebounds. He's really not fighting many guys. Jaren Jackson isn't really a guy that crashes the glass very hard. He's I'm not going to say softer, but he is. He's more of a three-point shooter. He's got slashing ability, but he's not really a guy like your John Collins who's going to steal rebounds from Capella or something like that. He really doesn't have to compete with too many guys down there. I mean, if you see Desmond Bane coming up for a rebound, I'm guessing Steven Adams is going to get that ball before he does. So
yeah,
I love this spot.
And my biggest worry about Adams this year, why I haven't been super all in on him in these 3 games, is when opposing teams play small ball, it's a little easy to factor him out the game, right? You just take him out the game, you play Jaren Jackson at the 5, and Adams plays less minutes and all of his stats go down. But when you're playing the Trailblazers, that's not going to happen, right? Nurkic is their center. He's going to play 30-plus minutes, and that's a beautiful matchup, honestly. Nurkic isn't a great rebounder, but even beyond that, just the fact that there's another big man that keeps Adams in the game is really one of the most important things to me. They're not going to be looking to play small right here when they have a pretty good big man versus big man matchup.
Yeah, and that's when you get into handicapping, right? You have to look at who they're going against, right? Because if I'm taking Clint Capella's stats, he could easily get ran off the floor and they could just run John Collins at the 5, right? That's why you got to look at it like when we're seeing a lot of people like take the over rebounds on some of these games where there's really no center to match up with them. It's tough. That's the next layer of diving into props that really some people don't really look into when they're looking at those lines. And I think this is a great spot. I think that he probably gets this on just points, rebounds, and it could even be in the first half, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great spot. He actually, if you took assists out of every game this season, he would still hit the PRA. So just on points and rebounds, he's hit 3 of 3 against this 21.5 number.
Yeah, should be a nice fast-paced game too, so love it. First 2-unit play. We're already going for a 2-unit banger here. So we're going back to the Bucks game here. And I'm rolling with my boy Anthony Edwards, Ant-Man, over 32.5 points, rebounds, assists. I believe this was on Caesars when I looked at it before a couple hours ago. And yeah, this number, it just doesn't make sense to me. I just think it's like when I saw this number against the Bucks, when I look at the stuff this morning when we decided we're going to have a show, I looked at this game and this game stood out, right? It's the fastest pace. It's going to be probably the most points scored. And Anthony Edwards has been that dude for these guys. Obviously, you got Towns, but it's 1A, 1B. It's not a 1 and 2 anymore. It's 1A, 1B with these two. And I had this at 35.5 was the line I had it listed at. I'm getting 3 points off of that, and we're getting this. I love Anthony Edwards tonight. He's cleared in every single game this season, 25 points per game this year, 8 boards, 3.8 assists, and now we have a pace-up spot for the Wolves. You're not going to hear me say that very much because the Wolves are already a top 5 pace team. They're 5th in the pace in the NBA, but the Bucks are 3rd. And now you're going to have Giannis running that point forward that he runs, and that just speeds the game up even more. Drew Holiday is that guy who slows it down. We don't have him right now. Obviously, it's pretty big news that he's not in there, and that's another big point. With Drew Holiday out, we're faster up and down the court, and you take away the best defender on our roster, right? Drew Holiday against Edwards, I am staying away from this. But now we're taking our best defender, and what they're going to probably do is my guess would be George Hill. And if we throw George Hill on him, he's way faster. If we don't go with George Hill, you're going with Connaughton, and I take him and the athleticism there 100%. His three-point shot has looked great. And like I said, he's cleared this against teams that are much slower than the Bucks, right? He cleared it twice against New Orleans. And now that we're not going to have Lopez, who's the paint protector, I think the drives are going to be there. And without Drew Holiday, I think this number should be smashed here. And I had, like I said, 35.5 was my number I was going to hit it at. Comes out at 32.5. So I'll take this all day. I love this spot.
Yeah, man. I mean, Edwards has been on my mind all day for a lot of the reasons you stated before. This guy is a young up and coming player, obviously, and he's really shown that he's already taken that step that a lot of people were wondering if he could. Right, D'Angelo Russell is someone that worried me coming into the year because you said 1A and 1B. I was thinking 1, 2, 3, but it's clear that Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards are 1 and 2, and D'Angelo Russell is like 4 right now. So like I might have Nas Reed, backup center above him right now. Like I don't know what Russell's doing out there. I was looking close at his under today too, but I mean, yeah, Edwards has a great matchup no matter who he goes against. I imagine it'll be mostly Grayson Allen and Pat Connaughton. We could see a little bit of Hill, but I think he'll mostly be on Russell. Either way, I'm not really worried about any of that. We could see some occasional like Middleton, who's a good defender, but I mean the matchup isn't the greatest there. I don't think that's going to overlap too much. But yeah, I mean he's averaging 8 rebounds a game, which is very impressive. Obviously, that was something that caught my eye. And then beyond that too, he's shooting a lot of threes, right? And the Bucks have kind of gotten burned from the 3-point line, both last year and now this year already. When you look through their box scores, there's not necessarily a lot of standout performers, but you constantly see these role players going like 2 for 4, 2 for 5, 3 for 6. And if Edwards is going to shoot the ball 11 times from 3. That's something we definitely want to sign up for. This is one of those situations where if a player can hit it with just points alone, then you definitely want to be into it. And I think Edwards could definitely do that tonight.
Yeah, if Brook Lopez was playing tonight, my favorite play I was looking at was Anthony Edwards over 5 threes made at plus 1,000.
Really?
But Bobby Portis, if he does play, is a little bit better at hedging out on screens. Brook Lopez sits. So Karl Anthony Towns pick and pop there. Could be there all day, but Bobby Portis is a little bit more athletic, obviously, than Brook Lopez and a little bit faster on his feet. So I was so close. I was looking all day, and then I saw that Brook Lopez was ruled out, and I'm like, frick, because I was going to hammer 5 threes, dude. It was like plus 800 right before show, and I was going to just throw some bombs on that thing, but I love it. I think this is just going to be such a fun game. I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, and I mean, I've said this before. In NFL, you play slot wide receivers against deep safeties. In the NBA, you play 3-point props against drop centers, right? So just like you were saying, obviously Portis is a little bit different, but when it is Lopez will let you take that 3. They on those screens they will exactly 100% of the time let you take those threes. But you can drive on Bobby Portis and he will fight the screens a little harder. So that was a good observation. I just wanted to take a second to point that out. You want to hit those 3-point props against the drop centers.
Beautiful. Well, we got quite a few people in the chat. Appreciate you guys. We're over 100 live viewers. Again, smash the like if you're enjoying the content, getting anything out of these videos. It goes a long way for us. So I appreciate it. And we're going to get to some comments before we get to our DFS stuff for tonight. This is towards you mostly for your Giannis points prop. Would you take his points, rebounds?
He's been a little bit inconsistent on the board so far this year, especially if I am projecting him to maybe see some time defending Karl Anthony Towns that might pull him away from the rim a little bit more. So I prefer points, but I can see the value in that. I don't mind it, obviously. I think it's pretty solid, but I prefer just points alone.
Yeah, so my usual rule of thumb for points, rebounds on Giannis is just expect 10. I don't expect more. Obviously, he does have games with 17 or 18, but for rule of thumb for me is, do you think that Giannis will get the point? Like if it's a 41, do you think Giannis is going to score 31 points? Because he's going to grab 10 boards, right? It's just inevitable. He plays too much. He's too damn big to not get 10. But there's some games where it's just 10 boards and you just have to go from there, right? So that's my rule of thumb. Obviously, I'm a Bucks fan. I bet on the Bucks a little bit more than I do with my Packers. But that's usually what I go with. I think that you getting 29.5 is a great spot. And I think I would definitely lean just points just because there is a lot of good rebounders on the floor there. You heard Anthony Edwards with 8. Connaughton is actually a really good rebounding guard. Middleton's a great rebounding forward too for not being that big. And if we do have Portis on the floor or Theanis, those guys are just ball hawks. They know they're not going to shoot, so all they do is go for the rebound.
Yep. Yeah, Connaughton's a sneaky guy when like Giannis sits in some of those games. If you look through his box score, he'll randomly just catch like 8 rebound
I
games,
know.
out of nowhere.
Yeah, it sucks when you do have like a points, rebounds, assists on like Middleton or Giannis, and you just see freaking Connaughton just stealing that shit.
Yeah,
It
jumping
sucks.
out of nowhere.
All right, we got a guy who he keeps pushing Beasley. He keeps
Bringing him
pushing
back.
Beasley. But dude, I just don't. There's just so much talent on this roster. I don't want to go to 7th option Malik Beasley in this spot.
Yeah, he'll have his like weeks where he just catches fire. I'm fine with missing out on some of them. I'm more likely to do it when I start to see the signs building, and we haven't seen it yet. Coach speak is a lot more reliable in the NFL because I don't want to call it reliable, but you can get more out of it because there's only 16 games. So when you need to get someone involved, you really need to do it right now. We got a lot of time to get Malik Beasley involved over the course of the season. So I understand where you're coming from. I don't dislike it, but I'm kind of leaning with the stars of this game if I'm laying down money.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a puncher's chance, right? It's just he has to be making his 3-point shots to be anything, right? That's the only way that he gets there for you. So Miles Bridges double went from plus 420 to plus 375. Do you like his rebound prop? He also mentioned that there is a rebound prop of 6.5 out there. You have anything there with the PJ Washington-less Charlotte Hornets?
Yeah, I mean, I think what this does mean is they're going to play big with Plumlee a lot more. And Plumlee's a great per-minute producer. Plumlee was one of my biggest hitters last year, actually. I went back and forth between Mason Plumlee and Isaiah Stewart when the Pistons would start their, like, rookie roster and then they'd start their real roster. Like, it was great. So we know Plumlee can pile up a lot of boards. Bridges has done it, though, right? I think he's done it in every game this season so far. So he was on the short list when I was looking at double kind of long shot kind of guys, but rebounds are just hard to predict, right? I try to keep my rebound bets to centers, right? Because when you're not looking at centers, a lot of it is just about if it bounces to the right guy. That's why we're seeing Bridges and Kuzma be so popular across social media. But my problem there is that is it essential for these guys to get rebounds for the team to work the way we want it to work? And the answer is no for both of these guys. So I understand why you like it. I see the trends that you do too. I'm tempted just like you guys are. But at the end of the day, the books see these exact trends. And if they're still comfortable with their numbers, then it kind of makes me a little nervous despite the obvious trends.
Yeah, I'm. This is the same thing I talk about with quarterbacks, right? With rushing yards of quarterbacks, right? A lot of guys can go in, dig in, whatever, and say whatever. He's hit this in certain amount of games, blah, blah, blah. But it's the same thing with the rebounds in NBA. Kind of gets to it. Somebody reached out to me saying, hey, should I take Tom Brady over 1.5 rushing yards? If Tom Brady has his perfect game, he does not run the ball one time, right? And if you have Kuzma, yes, I like Kuzma. I think he's great. I think he's doing well this year. But do I expect him to be averaging over 8 rebounds a game? I mean, I can't say that I do. I mean, the only thing is I would expect his points to go up because he's been getting a lot more rebounds and being more active on that side. And I would expect his points to go up. I don't expect his rebounds to stay there. I think that those are going to switch pretty dang quick because his 3-point shot hasn't been great. But those rebounds have been helping so much in DFS and in points, rebounds, assists lines. I think those start switching soon where you start to see him hit those threes, get streaky on the 3-point shots. And the rebounds kind of go down a little bit. So we will grab 3 more before we get to our BFS, and then we'll pop right back in there, guys. A lot of comments. We love to see it. I'm glad that we're able to get these in for you. So Sabonis over 38.5 and Mobley over 22.5 points, rebounds, assists. I like that Mobley line. I think that's a great spot. I believe they have the Clippers tonight, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the matchup with Zubac. I think that'll be great for him down low to get the boards. Again, I worry that they maybe go small ball and run. I mean, who do they have now without Morris there? I mean, Batum. Maybe they run Batum.
Batum is back. So Batum, they were doing it with Justice Winslow, and Morris. But you're right, Batum is back now too, so they'll also do that.
Yeah, so I think the rebound prop I would go rebound prop over anything. I think that they're going to have to like double down on Mobley because they really don't have the height and size. And obviously the Clippers are a pretty good team defensively. So I think that they probably try to get him to kick the ball out and then we get the rebounds. But I hit the Mobley over 6.5 rebound prop plus 115 a couple games ago. And I just think that that those lines are crazy. This guy's a good rebounder, but you have to worry about Jarrett Allen. He screws everything. That dude grabbed like 14 boards in multiple games this year, and it just screws over your points, rebounds, assists from Mobley.
It's so hard, man, because he did that, and then he had a game with 4 rebounds, right? It's like this team is playing a 3-center rotation, and it makes it so hard. Lauri Markkanen is playing the 3 for whatever reason.
Mobley he did play the 5 for Chicago, too, for a little while last year.
Yep, because we picked on him for rebounds all the time last year, but now I guess he doesn't have to rebound anymore. He's a wing, but it's a mess. I like Mobley a lot, and I think his talent will outshine these other guys over the course of the year. But on a game-by-game basis, until one of these centers goes down, it's really hard for me to pick which one to play. But Mobley's my favorite. I think he's a little undervalued still, right? His floor is super safe. He's playing high 30s minutes every single game, so that's a good sign to see for sure.
Yeah, and you're starting to see the books catch on, and you're starting to see DFS sites catch on. He was like 4,400 on DraftKings first game.
Yeah.
That dude played 34 minutes. Next game, he's up to 6,200. Yeah. Tonight, he's at 6,400 over on FanDuel, and I think that is a reasonable spot. He definitely has a floor probably in that 25 to 29 FanDuel points. You don't get the double-double or anything over there, but I think he's got a really nice floor, but you really need him to get pretty high up if you want to use them in DFS. Sabonis is obviously, I mean, he should do fine against Toronto tonight.
Yep, Sabonis will continue to lead the league in like minutes or be in the top 5 at least. He touches the ball a lot. Definitely a good spot on a day-to-day basis.
He's like the highest minutes per game not named Tom Thibodeau Knicks players.
Exactly, yeah. Exactly. It's like last year it was just Randall Barrett like 40 minutes a game, and then Sabonis 40 minutes a game too. You know, it's kind of crazy.
All right, last two here. This is just a comment. I like Mobley tonight too. Yeah, I think he'll be fine. These are for both of us. Would you take Adams at 22.5? I would assume you would say yes to this.
Yep. I still like Adams there. I think a fair number is like 23, 24. So we're still getting an extra point right there. I'll take it.
Yeah, and if you're getting 13.5 at plus money, take it for 1 unit. If it's not plus money, I would just stay away, dude. I think that's just a tricky spot for books. I think you should definitely get plus money at 13.5. I would say probably plus 110 at 13.5. I'd take it for 1. If not, I would just that's just a sketchy thing for them to move it already that far down. I think he gets there. I think he has a nice 15 rebound game tonight. But still, the books are sharp. Obviously, I think this line. I think he gets 14 or 15. It's just I don't want to be sweating until that last board like most of these, you know.
It's the worst. Rooting for a rebound is like the worst.
Dude, it's so hard because you're like, please miss. And then a point guard grabs it, dude. It's so bullshit. Bullshit. All right, we are to DFS value plays of the day. We will start out with you, Monotone, and your DFS play of the day here.
Yeah, so this is one I like a lot, actually. It's Devonte Graham, newly on the Pelicans now, as you guys know. I mean, it's interesting, right? Because this team is a lot different than they were last year, right? They have Ingram there, who's obviously the big name and people like a lot. But Devonte Graham is shooting the ball a lot. And additionally, last year he played with 2 ball dominant kind of players, right? He played with LaMelo Ball and he played with Terry Rozier. And this year we're not seeing that anymore. You know, Graham is now in a team where he is getting ball handling responsibilities. What that means is we've seen him have 6 assists or more in 3 of his 4 games this season. He's taking a bunch of 3-pointers. He's taking a bunch of shots. Even on his bad days, he's still going to score you at minimum about 14 points just because he's shooting the ball so much. This Pelicans team, it's weird, right? It's a different team, but he's still finding guys. He still has like safe floors at every position. But when you shoot the ball 18 times a game, and it's not an outlier, it's your role. Like you're going to do that every game, and you're shooting all these threes. He's going to put together one of these 5 for 7, 5 for 9 3-point performances where he gets up above 25 points. He gets you 6 dimes to go with that. He grabs 4 rebounds. I think he's underpriced today. I think this is a good matchup. I'm not really worried about it. And I think the Pelicans are going to keep letting him both shoot the ball and handle the ball a lot more than he was used to in the past. So I think we're just getting him a little bit too cheap here.
Yeah, I like Devonte Graham. I don't know if you collect cards or anything, but I collect NBA cards, just graded Prism stuff. And I have like 4 Devonte Graham silver prisms, and they've just been blowing up from where I bought them. I was buying for like $60 when he was on the Hornets because he just didn't have a role. He did not have a
Yeah.
specific job on that team. He would just go in, shoot threes. Then at the end of the year, he would just come in and pretty much just spell LaMelo and get assist. So I mean, this is a much better spot for him. I'm curious how it'll go once Zion gets back there. I'm curious if they're going to still use him as that point forward type of player, bringing up the ball and then rotating it with Ingram. Because I did that last year because they really didn't have a specific point guard there, so to speak. And Graham can be a point guard / shooting guard, So he has both options on FanDuel this year. So that gives him even more value to
Yep.
be able to use him at 2 separate spots there.
Yeah, and just to be clear, like I don't think this guy should necessarily be the point guard. Like I don't think he's the best pure passer. I think he's probably a better shooting guard, honestly. But this Pelicans team, once Zion does come back, it's going to be hard to predict props with Ingram, and then now Zion back, and then Devonte Graham wants to shoot the ball a lot. Alexander wants to shoot the ball a lot. They got a lot of guys here that are shooting the ball a lot, so it'll be interesting to see how that team meshes together, especially with Jonas Val now too at center.
I love it. Yeah, he's got great value. I'm seeing about 5,800 over on FanDuel right now, so it's a great value spot to save you some money on a really big slate with a lot of stars there. So definitely somebody you might need. I am actually going with. I put Anthony just because there's literally it's C Anthony. It's not Carmelo, even though LeBron is out now, and maybe Anthony Davis. But I am rolling with Cole Anthony of the Magic today, 6,200 over on FanDuel. And we're just getting a massive pace up spot here against Charlotte. They're a top 5 pace team. Magic are bottom 10 in pace. What I was worried about mostly coming into this year was obviously Jalen Suggs going into the usage rate of Cole Anthony. Cole Anthony's at 24.5% usage rate to start the season. He's got great big guys to pass it to down low, and Wendell Carter and Mo Bamba, who both been playing pretty well in their respective roles. But he's getting 32 minutes per game, and that's huge because they've been blown out 3 times this year. And today, weird line, but Charlotte's only a 6-point favorite. So the one game that did stay close when they did beat the Knicks, this man dropped that 16 rebound, 8 assist game with 20 points. They did lose a game by 15 or 17 in there, and he still got 34 minutes in that game. So if this game is within 20, Cole Anthony will be playing his normal allotment of minutes because they're in such a rebuild mode. They play their starters so much because what else do they have? It's not like they're grooming up a second team. Like with the Bucks, we'll throw out Jordan Nwora, we're throwing out these guys that need to get time. No, you have Jalen Suggs, you got Cole Anthony, you got Mo Bamba in like his 3rd year. Wendell Carter's still super young. This is a fun team. Once they get Jonathan Isaac back, it's going to be just a fun young roster. And they don't care if they're getting blown out. They're still going to play these guys, and that's really what I need here. But if it's a 5-point spread, I love Cole Anthony to get 35 minutes like he did in their one close game this year. And 25% usage rate for a guy that's only costing me $6K on FanDuel. I think he is going to blow up tonight. I think this pace up spot fits him perfectly. And like I said, the 2 games that haven't been 20-point plus blowouts, he's averaging 20.5 points, 12.5 rebounds, and 6.5 assists. Obviously, the 16 rebound game was an outlier, but even in that other game, he got 9. So it's not like it's that far out there. He's a great rebounding guard. At North Carolina, he was obviously he was doing everything there. So he's one of those guys that can fill up a stat sheet. And at 6,000, I'll take a guy who's going to be out there, has the ability to pass, rebound, and score. I'll take it all day.
Yeah, no, exactly. A lot of the stuff I was looking at for Graham, it matches out exactly here. This is a guy that will provide you those safe rebound and assist numbers. He's always going to crash those boards. He's a good passer. So that's something to look out for sure. And yeah, Anthony just takes a lot of shots. He can really go off in any game. He's a good player. He's a little bit hot and cold. But yeah, they have a lot of point guards. It'll be interesting to see what happens to this team when not only does Isaacs come back, so does Marquise Fultz. who was playing good, probably the best ever actually last year to start out the season. I like him. I think he's a good player at this point in his career. It looked like from watching his game tape, he finally realized the kind of player he could be in the NBA. Then he goes out for the whole year. This team has so many point guards, so it's going to be a mess in a couple of weeks, I think. But for now, let's take advantage of Anthony while he's got a little bit less competition.
Yeah, and I'm not really worried about what LaMelo Ball guarding him. I'm not really worried there. And yeah, I mean, like I said, you want to see paces, you want to see fast up and down. And the reason I like this team so much is because their big guys run the floor. They got athletic big dudes. Mo Bamba is playing great. He almost made this list for my top DFS value because this dude gets rebounds, he hits threes, he has good assist numbers too, blocks. It's awesome. It's awesome. All right, big boys coming out to play here for top DFS plays of the day.
Yep. So, Russ, there's a couple of them in the league, but we're going with Russell Westbrook right here. Obviously, we saw what he did last night. His kind of entrance to Los Angeles game where he went off without LeBron James. LeBron James is now out again with injury, I guess. I mean, he looked pretty good on the sideline. Yeah, I saw like maybe back soreness. I don't know. He looked pretty lively over on the sidelines. But, that's fine. More usage to go around. Anthony Davis is questionable. And a big reason why I not only played this, I also played the over in the game total at 215.5 was because when Russell Westbrook gets the ball in his hands, the games change. He loves running the floor. He loves getting up and down the court, making plays happen, turning over the ball sometimes. He is just the kind of guy, he's like a spark plug to any game. And the more Russell Westbrook we have, the less LeBron James, Anthony Davis we have is great for Russ. He piles up triple doubles like nobody we've ever seen in history. If now we're going to see him get more of the scoring load on this team too, then I love it. Like I said, I think AD might actually sit. If he doesn't, that's fine too. We saw them both share the wealth last game. He kind of gave us a ceiling performance last game. No LeBron again. I think we could get another one.
Yeah, even if Anthony Davis plays, I don't think it's at full strength. I think that also going against OKC, you get the matchup there with his old team at OKC, going back to his old spot. Nice revenge game, all that. He dropped a 63-point fantasy game last night, and that's in non-DraftKings. That's FanDuel over there, and I know DraftKings gives you that extra points for double-double and all that. But, yeah, Russ is a great spot. I'll have him in all my lineups today. And the guy I'll have in every lineup is going to be Anthony Edwards for me, Mr. Ant-Man. Talked about him enough here. I don't think I really need to dive into it too much. I just think that he's a great spot. I mean, top DFS on FanDuel. How does this make any sense? Russell Westbrook went down in price from yesterday. He's at 8,300 on FanDuel. If he's not 100% owned, I don't get it. 8,300, and then I can run Anthony Edwards in there with that money I'm saving for Westbrook, and then a rolling Cole Anthony in there. I think that those three they all complement each other pretty well there. And Russell Westbrook, 8,300, just crazy. No LeBron, bunch of ball handling ability, obviously. It's going to be fun. I think Russell Westbrook's numbers tonight are going to be one of those crazy Wizards nights that he's going to have.
Exactly. Yeah, Washington grab us 14 rebounds, Russ, 17 assists. Give us one of those games, especially against OKC. I love it.
Beautiful. Let's oh wow. Okay. We're a little bit behind on these questions. We'll try to go through quick. Yeah. Thoughts on Morant, 30 plus in Grizzlies money line?
His usage is just super high, so it's a little bit riskier, obviously, but I like it. I mean, he's getting to the rim a lot. He's playing well. He's the alpha there, so I don't mind that at all.
Beautiful. Mobley points, rebounds should be solid. He's been better every game. Yeah, he's just so young. These young guys coming into the league, like Giddey over there and Giddey, whatever his name is, over in OKC. He's 19, man. So give him some time. He's obviously shot terrible yesterday. I had his points. Should have just grabbed his points, rebounds, assists because he had like 9 boards, 2 steals. He still got me 30 points in FanDuel, so that was good. We have Edwards over 32.5 on Barstool, so go lock this in, guys. This looks like the best line I've seen. Drew Holiday out, defender with great spot for sure. I don't do many spreads at all, but Hornets -6 was just baffling to me when I was looking through the Magic game. I really don't get it, but Vegas doesn't lose money on these games, so I'm not going to mess around with them. They're big casinos for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it obviously sounded great to me too. But when sometimes in the NBA, when something's too good to be true, it really is. So I try to stay away from the baity spreads that I see.
Yeah, Capello over 10.5 points looks like a banker. I don't know. It just if it was points and rebounds, I'd be a lot more happy to do it. Just because Capella doesn't need to score to be good.
Exactly.
He doesn't
Yep.
need to. He would have a great game with 8 points, 15 boards. He's doing his job, getting 4 blocks, whatever. Still going to do great for you in fantasy. Still going to be a great player, but I don't think that it's a banker. If I would counter it, I would probably. I mean, if you want to counter it and go and stay in that same game, obviously I had the Joval play. And I think Joval just has a great game tonight. Overall, I would switch over to him, or maybe it really depends because I don't know if DeAndre Hunter's playing. They still said he was questionable. So I had some usage there. Cam Reddish has been fantastic. Maybe if you want to go that way for a cheap spot, it's just there's so many mouths to feed on this Atlanta roster for scoring points. You're really just hoping he grabs 5 offensive rebounds and puts them back, put back dunks and stuff. This is for you, I'm guessing. It says Bradley Beal for Washington, so that's for you.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Ingram most points thing you said in the second part. Miami money line, that works for me. Beal, I was team fade Bradley Beal last year from the 3-point line. That just wasn't his role. He had the ball in his hands a lot. And he was always looking to get to the rim. It was 2.5 for most of the season, and his hit rate on that number was so incredibly low. The thing is, now this team is moving the ball a lot more, and to the point where they're actually generating open spot-up shots for Bradley Beal, which hasn't happened in a couple of years now, where he's kind of not reverting back, but he's now tapping back into that skill set that brought him into the league from Florida University, which was a great spot-up shooter. He had 13 opportunities, I believe, against the Nets from the 3-point line and struggled. I'm not there yet, but I think Beal's number could be back to 2.5 most of this year if we continue to see him get those open looks on the outside and continue to see the ball movement do good things for Washington's offense. So I'm not quite there tonight. I want to see more game film on it, but I like it. I like where you're thinking.
Beautiful, beautiful. Harrison Barnes has been tough. I don't know if it's sustainable. It's crazy the amount of numbers he's putting up here. I like him. He's one of my favorite guys usually to go with in DFS. But just, I mean, I'm looking at his numbers here, 9 rebounds, 15 rebounds, and 7 rebounds. I mean, do you expect that to stay the same? Tough matchup with Phoenix down there. I mean, you got Bridges who can board well. You got Ayton obviously down there too. I just don't know. I mean, you have to pretty much hope that he's going to hit his shots, and he's shooting super well. But Suns are a tough team they're a tough defense, right? And I mean, I get their paces and stuff, but I mean, you had pace spots with Golden State, Utah, and Portland, all fast-paced teams. Don't really care as much about defense besides Utah. So I think it's probably pretty accurate. I know he's been doing very well, but like I said, Vegas is not dumb. And they find a way to just bait you on some of these lines.
Yeah.
Bridges moved to power forward, made him crash boards more. This one would be one you kind of talked about there a little bit.
Yeah, I like Plumlee. Honestly, I like him in DraftKings. His defensive stats are actually good too, so he'll be one of my kind of value DraftKings plays today because he gets a couple blocks, gets a couple steals, and he should play 30-plus minutes. So I kind of like Plumlee today.
Yeah, I like him too. I think he's got quite a bit of upside with the minutes that he's been playing lately. Does Bane 12.5 or 13.5 seem low? I see prop bet guy on him for plays. So whenever he drops one, it just kills the line, to be completely honest. I usually don't play many of his plays. I think that he's a good player. I think he's getting enough usage too with him out. It's just, I don't know. It's just like it's a primetime game against Portland. You have Dame weighing up against Ja Morant. I could see it just being those two battling it out on points. But Bane definitely has the opportunity. I like his line. I just think that on my book it was 13.5 and it was pretty juicy. So I wouldn't buy the juice on that.
Yeah, I mean, this is tough. I had 3 plays in my drafts last night, but I had a killer headache. I didn't put any of them out. Bane 12.5 was one of them. And I woke up to that prop bet guy tweet, move the line 13. I now even see 14 in a couple spots. It's hard to predict if he's going to keep being efficient, but obviously with Brooks out, he's seen a huge minutes upgrade. He's seen more 3-point attempt looks. So this feels like a short number still, but yeah, I think a lot of the value is at 12.5. I think even 13.5 minus 110 is a good bet, but the best I saw earlier was like minus 135. And now we're moving all the way up to 14, which seems like a more fair line. So I think there's some value on Bane, but after prop bet guy tweeted, I don't think it's like a must bet anymore.
Yeah, no, the value's been sucked out. I mean, that's all it is. We're betting value, guys. That's what we're trying to get here. I'm looking for mostly prop stuff, guys, because I mean we could talk spreads, but we're not really huge spread guys. That much. Bam sounds 9.5 rebounds sounds like a lock. I like Bam tonight. I think Bam will have a nice game. I'm just always worried about a blowout with Miami playing good defense like that.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, it's a tough decision. Bam is an inconsistent rebounder, but he's crushed it this year, right? Maybe it's my bias from last year. Maybe everyone that plays it is just going to collect this free money, but I'm just going to watch tonight. A lot of smart people are on it, but I think I'll just sit back and watch.
For sure, for sure. I think that this is crazy. I would not fade Lillard tonight. I like Lillard. I would not fade him tonight. I think that he is gonna. You can't really bet against Lillard when he's been playing this bad, man. Especially in a primetime game, 10 o'clock game against another guy who's been going off. This just screams Damian Lillard bust out game right here. Just screams that to me.
Yeah, I mean, I was telling people yesterday not to play CJ McCollum, right? And it was because CJ McCollum has had a 7% usage advantage over Damian Lillard. This is Damian Lillard's team, guys. I like CJ a lot. He's a great player, obviously, but we're going to see that usage level flip pretty soon. I played a lot of Dame in DraftKings yesterday or whenever he last played, and it burned me, obviously. But it's so hard to bet against him. I understand where you're coming from, but it's just a no bet, even though the under might technically be the better side right here because we know Dame what he can do on a night-by-night basis.
The thing is, Lillard could easily just go into this game and in the first quarter hit 4 threes. This dude is a heat check waiting to happen, and you could be sitting at 0 threes through over half this game and then just get screwed. So I just don't like betting against Lillard here. We're closing in on an hour. We got to get through these. I want to make sure that we still get to most of these, but we still got one last thing to go over. And this is our long shots, right, guys? We always love them. This one, they're not going to be parlayed. We're going to just go with our favorite long shot play. So I went with your longer one. I know you sent me 2, but I'm going with your longer shot one here to start out. And you're going with – I'd love to see you on this one.
Yeah, man. So Anthony Edwards double-double. When we were talking before, obviously, I didn't know you were so big on Anthony Edwards. But a guy that's been so close to a double-double in every single game so far this year – the fact that he's at plus 800 right here is crazy. I'll take those odds any day of the week. The points is a given already, right? A lot of guys, it's does he get points? Does he get rebounds? Does he get assists? I don't think assists will be what gets him there. Obviously, he can flash that potential at any moment, but it's mostly going to be rebounds that we're watching out for. It's pretty much, does he get to 10 rebounds plus 800? He's had 9 over the last couple of games. He's averaging 8 this season. To get him to that 10 mark is really not asking for too much right here. For plus 800, I'll take that any day of the week.
This was my exact thought when I took Brandon Ingram. Exact thought. This guy is now going into a faster game, more shots up, more opportunity for rebounds. Obviously, he's going to score 10 points. If this guy doesn't score 10 points, I'll probably just shave my head. If he doesn't score 10 points tonight, I will. You can even put it on here. I don't really care. I will shave my head, not all the way bald, but just to like a 1 where it just looks ugly. But yeah, I mean, I have about 3 weeks before I have to go to my next wedding, so I think that'll be long enough for my hair.
Oh, yeah, you got time. Yeah.
If he doesn't score 10 points, yeah, I'll shave my head because he's definitely getting 10.
We won't have to worry about that, though. Don't worry. He's getting 10.
All right, guys. All right. Mine here is going to be a same game parlay to get this line that I got. I'm on FanDuel for this one, and I'm going with my long shot as Towns and Giannis to both get 30-point double-doubles today. Obviously, I love your play with Giannis's points. I think the same thing is with Towns. I don't know who's going to guard Towns. If they use Giannis, he's been getting in foul trouble when they've been putting him on the best player of the other team. So I don't think they're going to do that. If we do play Portis on him, Towns will shoot threes and obviously be very fine there. Giannis has gotten 10 rebounds, I think, in every game but one, and that was the blowout. And he's always around the hoop, obviously shooting relatively close shots in most of the games. And Towns is going to – I just think Towns is going to eat. I think they're just going to be the exact thing where they go back and forth. I think it's going to be one of those. And if it goes back and forth, I think plus 1,000 is absolutely going to go crazy. CM, I said not counting injury. I said not counting injury in there. So trust me, I'm not doing that. So I'm not jinxing no players. I just made sure that I said no injury because that would suck. Obviously, he's a really fun young player to watch. And I'm obviously not going to jinx him like that. But that's going to be mine. Two pretty nice ones in the same game, which will be fun to watch because that's, like I said, I was going to be watching that game anyway, being a Bucks fan. But
yeah,
a couple more, I think. Oh, what were you going to say? Say that while I look through the
no, for sure. I was just going to say NBA on a day-to-day basis gives you so many cool like opportunities to hit these, right? Like I know you were so close to your Ingram one. I luckily hit Precious Achiuwa double-double the other day at plus 400 when his rebounds line was already at 9. It was kind of ridiculous. Like some of these early season lines are just so weird. And once you get a taste of these long shots, you kind of just got to keep plugging them in there. They're fun.
Yeah, no, these games are, you never know. Early on in the season, you never know. And I think that gives you even more value on top of it. But all right, three more here. Any thoughts on McCollum over 23.5?
I mean, like I said earlier, I just think McCollum's playing great right now. I might lean towards this 3-point prop instead, but I'm just kind of worried we're going to get one of these Dame games any second now. So I'm kind of passing on both.
Lillard, Morant over 35 points. I like it. I think both of them go off. The only one I'd be more worried about Morant. I would maybe, if you're going to do a same game parlay, maybe do Morant 20 points, 10 assists maybe. I think that'll give you probably pretty close to the same thing or 30 points, 10 assists, something like that. Because I think Lillard is going to score, and I think Morant's going to have to do everything for this team to stay close in this game in a nice fast pace. I lean that way. 35 is a really high number for me to think of Morant. Obviously, I know he's gotten there this year already, but
yeah,
still.
Yep.
All right, last one goes to you. What is your favorite prop for the Grizzlies tonight?
Well, luckily, I've already talked about it, right? It's right down here on the little clicker. Steven Adams over 21.5 points, rebounds, assists on the Grizzlies now, a former Pelican. But yeah, that's my favorite prop. I talked about it earlier. Just to revisit, he's 3 of 3 on the season. Even if you take out those assists, he's still 3 of 3 on the season. He gets Nurkic now, who will keep him on the court. We want that big man versus big man matchup to keep him out there. So yeah, that is my favorite prop in that game.
Looks like Lillard might have an injury, something with his abdominal. I haven't heard much about it. Maybe that's a coincidence. I have no idea. I'm just going to bet with the talent. And yeah, I think in a primetime game, I'm not really worried about Lillard too much in these.
Or you can do what I'm doing and just bet on neither of them. You don't got to bet on every one of these guys. For sure.
We're at 58 minutes. We got 1.5 minutes to run through our recap here. Let's do it quick here. Go to yours first.
Yep, the Greek Freak over 29.5 points. Play that at 1 unit. You can also play 30.5. I think it's good there too. Steven Adams over 21.5 points, rebound, assist, 0.75 unit, and play that one also at 22. And yeah, finally, we got our long shot play. It's going to be the Anthony Edwards double-double. We've been waiting for it all year. Let's get it at plus 800. Hopefully no one gets their head shaved next week.
Yeah, it'll be for Friday, right? I'll have to do it on at least I won't have to pay for this haircut then. All right, 40 seconds. Let's get it. That's mine. There we go. 12.5 rebounds for Joe Val, minus 125, 1.5 unit. If you do have 13.5, it's got to be plus money. I play 1 unit on that plus money play for 13.5. Biggest play of the day is going to be Anthony Edwards, points, rebounds, assists, over 32.5, minus 120. Someone said minus 113 on Barstool. We'll have 2 units on that one. We have your best DFS play of the day with Devontae Graham. Mine's going to be Cole Anthony. Your top DFS is Russ Westbrook, and mine's going to be Anthony Edwards. And then my long shot is going to be Towns and Giannis, both to get a 30-point double-double tonight, plus 1,000 over on FanDuel. I love this card. I think this is going to be a great starter for us on our week 1 of Pass the Prop NBA edition. We had quite a few people in here. We thank you guys again for all staying in here. Still 45 of you guys sticking through all the way through this hour. I thank you guys so much. Monotone, you got anything for the people before we head out?
Yeah, I'm just excited to keep it going. Got the notes ready for the football show on Friday. So, yeah, it feels good. Let's keep stacking up the NBA money in the meantime.
Yeah, let's get this money. Let's keep adding on. I can't wait till the end of the season when we get to add the Pass the Prop plays, both of them up, and just see how much money we made for everybody. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. So thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. We will see you guys in 48 hours to talk football. So hopefully we can come back with a little sweep action. Yeah, it's going to be fun. So thank you guys so much. We will talk to you guys Friday. Peace.